So we got a new coach, official. Got a new coach, and we're going to talk money because there's been some changes to compensation for some of these coaches. And so we're going to dive into some pretty good stuff from the Board of Regents meeting on Friday for the Sooner football staff. So let's look at this official announcement of defensive coordinator Zac Alley coming in, as well as some of the pay and title changes we saw on the defensive side and offensive side for Oklahoma. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. Y'all know we're going to drop some news and the latest that's going on. So I'm hoping you all here in the Oklahoma and in the South area staying warm, actually even going north because it's really, really cold. We'll have the Zac Alley shirt coming soon. I expect that to launch by Friday. And we're going to put all the coaches on hoodies, just like you see here with BV. So if you want to check it out, link for merchandise is in the description below. But let's dive right into the official announcement, as Coach Brent Venables just announced that Zac Alley has been named co-defensive coordinator and linebacker coach for Oklahoma. Now, we talked about Alley. We did a video. We even talked about it on the live earlier in the week, in which I'll repost that on Monday. But Zac Alley comes here from Jacksonville State, spent a stint at University of Louisiana Monroe under Terry Bowden, and at the recommendation of Brent Venables, was at Boise State. But the big thing about Zac is he spent like 7 years under Brent Venables at Clemson. He was mainly working with the defensive tackles as well as the linebackers. And so in his interview, the article here from Sooner Sports at OU, he basically said that everything I do is based on what Coach Brent Venables did at Clemson. That's been the foundation of how I build defenses. I always respected how he handled himself as a coach and as a man, and wanted to emulate that the best I could. From the moment I met him, I always wanted to be like him, have a career like his, lead the best defense in the country like him. He obviously had a huge influence on me, and I'm excited to be back with him. So for y'all wondering, so why did, Venables hire a 30-year-old like that? He hired himself. And you've heard us say that ad nauseum. Literally, Zac Alley is Brent Venables, right? So he's bringing him in. It was officially announced on Saturday with all the crazy news going on. We got that officially in. And so that means that on Friday, the Board of Regents approved the hire, and they're probably going to work on the compensation and stuff and get that approved. Probably, I'd say on March agenda. But the good thing is it's now official. So besides Zac Alley coming in and being officially announced, from the Regents meeting, we had some raises come in for all the coaching staff. I want to kind of point out all the raises. Shout out to Eric Bailey, the reporter out of the Tulsa World. Did a fantastic job of chronicling everything from that Board of Regents meeting. And so we're going to just basically read down what our boy Eric had tweeted out. So first off, Miguel Chavis got a year extension on his contract. It'll go till 2025. And he saw a raise. You've got co-offensive coordinator Joe John Finley had 2 years added to his contract, so he'll be around till 2026. And he saw himself a nice bump because of the new title, making just under $1 million and seeing an annual raise with that. Brandon Hall got a year added to his contract to 2025, with seeing a nice bump in his salary. Running back coach DeMarco Murray also saw a year added till 2025 and a nice hefty raise to go with that. And Seth Luttrell's contract was officially announced as well. His contract will run through 2026, so it's a 3-year contract, lines him up exactly with Joe John Finley. He'll make $1.1 million in 2024 and see raises every year from there. And so he'll be in till 2026. And of course, on our agenda that we've had for a while, our boy Emmett Jones, who was added to the associate head coaching title and wide receiver coach. He has seen himself a year extension on his contract through 2025, and he got himself a nice little raise as well because of that title change. So we're doing everything we can to hang on to Emmett Jones. And I'm going to be honest, at a certain point, I sense that we're going to be really paying up to Annie to hang on to him, because I know that Venables does not want to lose this guy from the staff. And then, of course, lastly, Jay Valai, he got added a new role once Zac Alley came in. Instead of him being co-defensive coordinator like he was before, He's actually moved into an associate head coach position. He'll also maintain the job of doing associate head coach for defense. He'll also be the pass defense and cornerback and nickels coach, most likely passing game coordinator on the defensive side. So he'll be working closely with Coach Brandon Hall, who will be working closely with Zac Alley. The question that has been asked the most by everybody, who's going to be calling the plays? It'll be Alley. Alley's going to be your play caller. Offensive side, Seth Luttrell's going to be your play caller. But they'll be working in coordination with everybody on staff. That way it is it's a team effort, right? You want that out of the staff. You want them to feel like they are valued, and that's how you do it. You give everybody basically the same role, and you tell everybody that y'all gonna work together, whether you like it or not. So I'm pretty excited to see that we've got the coaching staff in place. We saw, like I said, the raises and everything. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. I know we talked, like I said, ad nauseum around Zac Alley and what he's going to bring. I'm now excited to see him get to work. I bet you he's already been in there watching film, talking to players, getting to know them. And I know that there was a podcast on the Prairie episode not too long ago, and Danny Stutzman made mention about the new hire, their excitement. I think the other thing to consider is that Venables most likely did have a good conversation with his staff about bringing him in, bringing the young guy. And the one underrated thing about adding Zac Alley to this, and I'm not sure if y'all caught this when I talked about it before, but I kind of want to dive into it a little bit, is you bring in this coach and you keep all your defensive coaches in place, right? Most of the time when you're bringing in a defensive coordinator, they usually want to bring in their own staff. Look at what's going on in Alabama right now. I mean, the reason why Coach Robinson, T-Rob, left the safety position there at Alabama and went to Georgia is he didn't know, what the retention was going to look like. And he wasn't named defensive coordinator immediately. So he went ahead and took the job of co-D coordinator at Georgia. They moved Will Muschamp from co-defensive coordinator and moved him to an analyst role just so they could bring in a young recruiter, which is huge. And so whenever new staffs are brought in, like I said, just like as you look at what's going on in Alabama, people start leaving, right? Most defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators want to bring in their own staff guys because they know the type of players to bring in for them. And the beauty of Zac Alley coming in here, Coach Alley being here, is that since he's basically a Brent Venables clone, like he's, comes off the conveyor belt of where this man was built, he's literally going to be, everybody's already bringing the players in he needs for this system because Venables already brought them in. And so now Zac can make a name for himself, keep improving this defense, especially because he's got a lot of veterans. He knows the terminology. All he's got to do is probably change a little bit of the vernacular that's used. Words are probably used differently from the way that Alley did it compared to where Venables is doing it today. And that's the beauty of it, is Venables has brought this guy in knowing that his role is to be like him. And Alley even told you that, as I mentioned in the quote, he does everything just like Venables. And so we all know that this is going to be a good move. I mean, y'all don't have to be as hyped as I am. I am truly stoked. I like when a young coach, up-and-comer, is brought in, especially one that is trusted by so many. I'm stoked to see what he's going to be able to do for us. So that's the vid. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. It's quiet right now. We're waiting to see, if some commitments come down the line, if there's still some recruitment going on. The portal, of course, is open for Washington players. It's open for Alabama players, and it's going to be open for another school soon once Washington make another hire. And so because of that, we seeing a lot of movement. So if y'all wonder why, some players don't get paid like others, and sometimes that a better one's going to show up at some point, right? If you made it this far, you like the content, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Love for you to join this family of college football fans. Talk a lot of OU football and college football in general. Always having a blast to do it. And so, if you like the merch link is in the description below. Like I said, the Zac Alley one will be coming soon. About to order mine. That way I can rock it here on the channel. We'll have hoodie versions for everybody dropping as well this week because it's cold, and y'all need to be able to rock these when we go to these SEC games on the road next season. With that, we'll chop it up in a bit. Peace.